Welcome everyone to the October Oil Club. We're so grateful to have you all on and those that are listening on record. Tonight we're going to share some very special products, some of them new formulations, to help us to stay calm if you struggle with anxiety, to get you a bit of a self-care routine to help support you throughout the day. And we all need that, don't we, in the days that we're living in. So some practical support and some routines. We've got some lovely speakers on tonight that are going to share an individual oil that actually is really helped them personally and how we can use it practically. So first of all, we're going to start with our product of the month. And this month it's called Shinrin-Yoku. I don't know if you've heard of that before. It's the Forest Bathing Blend. And our lovely Shinrin-Yoku expert, Jane, is going to share with us the history of forest bathing and how we can use it. And just remember, the product of the month means you can get it free if your order is over 125 PV. You can buy it separately as well. So over to you, Jane.
Okay. So let's do the full screen and present. Yes. So tonight, obviously, we're looking at the free product of the month, one of my absolute favourite go-to blends when I need to keep calm and grounded. It's forest bathing. It's actually a Japanese word, Shinrin-Yoku. A forest bathing blend was actually something that the Japanese came up with. It's predominantly to help us to slow down and focus and really just to centre ourselves back in the moment, of helping us to feel calm again if we're stressed or we're really anxious and we just need to have clarity in thought. Then the practice of Shinrin-Yoku was actually brought about by actually a need and a desire for Japanese workforce back in the 1800s, where faster pace of life and Japanese people are really hardworking. So they had this environment where they were working hard, and mostly company bosses and factory workers and corporate industries thought, how can we support our workers to get, keep them calm and get the most out of them while they're working? So they actually designed forest areas within cityscapes, and they allowed their workers to go out during their lunch break and they immersed themselves in the forest setting. So they literally shut off to any electronic devices, the thoughts of what they were working on at that moment, and they just immersed themselves in the beauty of the forest setting. And they really connected with nature. It was really a way to detox themselves from any sort of stress and anxiety that they may be facing either in their life or in their job in the environment. So what are some of the key aspects of Shinrin-Yoku? So it's really just a mindful practice where it's not just a case of going for a walk, but we go for a walk with a deliberate mindset. And that is to engage in, what do we feel? How does it feel to be within that environment? What is our sensory experience? What can we hear when we hear the wind rustling through the trees, nature, we hear the birds singing, that's very soothing. And then of course you go into like the sense, what's the sense of the forest roundabout? What are we inhaling? And there's a whole sort of ecosystem within a forest environment where the trees, they all interconnect with each other, and it's not just a root system, it's an actual whole electrical current system that includes fungi and mosses, flowers, grasses, trees and leaves, and this whole environment communicates. And the minute we immerse ourselves into this environment, it reduces our stress levels, it reduces cortisol, which we all want to have that reduced, it boosts our immune system, and it helps to lower blood pressure. And one that I think all of us need is our parasympathetic nervous system, just to be brought back into that feeling of calm, and it promotes this inner clarity that we all crave in this world full of all the stresses of life. So where does the blend of Shinrin-Yoku come into this whole equation of this Japanese practice? Well, doTERRA looked at how can we actually put this into a bottle. What is going on in this forest environment where we can bottle it and take it to people who maybe, one, they haven't experienced a forest environment, it's maybe not something naturally that they would think about doing, or somebody that's housebound, somebody that's ill, again, businesses where they need their workers to de-stress, or really just an environment where our home life needs to feel a bit more relaxed, especially if we've got children. And Shinrin-Yoku is a fantastic oil for the whole family to use and just ground together. So doTERRA put together this blend of these pure tested grade oils that are rich in phytoncides, terpenes, and it all is taken from trees in the forest. Now, if we go on further into the slides, it's really just telling us what's in the bottle. So just a few of the top ingredients that we all know and love is lemon. We know that that's a very uplifting and cleansing oil. We have patchouli, which promotes a feeling of calm and inner peace. Magnolia touch, absolutely beautiful. And when you smell Shinrin-Yoku, you actually, your nose picks up and scents immediately, and then you have the after scent. So it's not just an immediate experience, it's a lingering experience where your olfactory system starts recognizing other beautiful scents, and that helps to calm the whole body down. So we know that patchouli promotes a feeling of calm. Magnolia is traditionally used in Chinese medicine where it creates harmony and balance. And then of course we have Siberian fir. We couldn't have a tree oil without it being truly called Shinrin-Yoku. So it also promotes calmness and stability. And we know that we've got so many other oils within the blend that we could talk about for quite some time. We've got cardamom seed oil, grapefruit peel oil, all these rich oils that really helps to ground us and calm us. And I was having a look at how can we immerse ourselves in this, because I think the best way to get the most out of your oil is to include the practice. So we can use the oil and get fantastic benefits, but how can we take it further and actually practice what the Japanese do? And it's not always easy for people to get out into the country. And I came across, it was actually the Forestry Commission down in England who are really endorsing forest bathing experiences. And what they've done is they've really just covered it for everyone. If you can't get out, or you're housebound, or you're maybe feeling low, maybe the weather's not, good enough to go out into a forest walk. So what they've actually done, I'll just click this to see if we can actually get into it. And it's actually an interactive, I'll just stop talking just now and show you how it works. So it's actually just, as you can see, it's very interactive, and we can look right up into the treescape. And I thought that would just be a lovely practice that we could sit and do ourselves, or with put it like into a kids setting where we can get the children involved in it as well. And if it's days that we can't get out, then we can actually tap in. They've got lots of videos that we can look at and have this interactive experience while sitting in the comfort of our own home, using our very own Shinrin-Yoku oil. And they also do some nice downloads for kids. We've got activities that you can print off and get the kids involved in it as well. So that's how I like to use my Shinrin-Yoku, is going out to ground with it. But if I can't get out, then I certainly still apply it when I'm in the house, and I also diffuse it as well. But it's a great oil for the whole family to use. Okay, I'll hand you back to Rachel.
Thank you, Jane. That was really lovely. We already feel calm just listening to you. We could listen to you all day. You've got such a calming nature. That was amazing. So that oil is free, as we said, or you can just get it from your shop if you're not doing too much of an order this month. So now I'm just gonna share my screen, and we've got some spotlight this month, and it's the autumn exclusive, a collection. And there's myself, Deborah, and Charlene. What we'll do, we'll leave Charlene because she's only just got in, so she's probably rushing around. We'll leave you till the last one. Me and Deborah will speak first. But I just wanted to share with you what's on offer. Hope you can see that there. It's the autumn exclusive kit, and it contains the Adaptiv Capsules, which are brand new to the UK and Europe. We're so excited. Since I started doTERRA, 5-6 years ago, we were wanting these for a long time waiting, and I'm sure all of you who've been with doTERRA for a while have known about these from the US and wanting them, really. For the people that want to neck the Adaptiv oil, we know we can't, so this is the alternative, a safe dietary supplement that we can use to help calm. So I'll talk about that after Deborah talks to us about valerian. And then we've got valerian, lavender, and Adaptiv, so a really lovely combination that we can use together in conjunction and create a routine that's just going to really help us. So that's the only way at the moment of getting the Adaptiv Capsules as part of this kit. I think it works out at £101 in English, and it's €100, but it just goes up to 102 PV. So you get lots of points back for that. Valerian has been a limited time oil, and it's one of those things that if you don't get it now, we don't know when it's coming again. So if you're into valerian root, and you know how wonderful it is, like all the other rooties, and they're really calming out there. We've got Vetiver Valerian is another one, and it's spikenard. So if you're into your roots, we know how good they are for sleep. And obviously I don't spoil Deborah's presentation now. So I will pass it on to Deborah now to talk about valerian.
So this beautiful kit, I was very excited because it's the first time in the UK valerian is being sold for individual sale. And I have to say, I didn't know a huge amount about it. I was speaking to my friend who's a homeopath, and she seems to be like the world's leading expert in it. And she was saying it's absolutely amazing. And I love how it comes from the Latin to mean to be well. Well, who doesn't want to be well? I know I do. It is a beautiful oil that's been used for centuries. And what I found really interesting was even in ancient Greece and Rome, they used valerian. And Hippocrates, who was known to be the father of medicine and this amazing Greek physician, actually used to recommend valerian for nervousness or the nervous system, and for sleep. And what I hadn't realised was during World War One, when the poor soldiers were absolutely shell-shocked, valerian was administered then just to make them more calm and grounded. So we're not the first people to use it. And yet, I just think it's an amazing oil. Incredibly high in sesquiterpenes, which we know is known for its calming and relaxing properties. It's very high in beta-caryophyllene, which is known for inflammation and calming and grounding. So if any of us are stressed on perhaps a daily basis, perhaps we've got health issues, perhaps we've got young families, perhaps we've got a lot on in the system we live in, then valerian could be for us. So how are we going to use it? Well, at night, it says it's going to be the most beautiful, grounding, relaxing, hopefully sleep-inducing oil we're going to have. So we can use it in the bath, perhaps with lavender, or we can make a roller ball up. So we could perhaps in a 10 ml roller ball, perhaps put Well, I always err on the side of caution, so I would say 6 drops of each. So you could do lavender and valerian, and you could pop it on the balls of your feet. You could perhaps have it in a diffuser. It could be that during the day we're encountering stress or anxiety or worry. Then we could use a rollerball during the day. It's just, I feel the options are limitless, and I feel like it's something we could pop into our routine every single day. And what is really special, it can be used in foods. So I actually haven't smelt it yet, but I will get back to you on that. But it says we can use it in food, beverages, we can use it in the bath, diffuser, and we can certainly make it part of our day-to-day routine, which, and I've ordered it today. But I was a bit concerned because I thought with it being one per person per account, then potentially it could run out. So if anybody doesn't manage to get it, if you bob round to Kendall, you can try mine. That's it.
Wonderful, thank you. And like you were saying, Deborah, it's £54 to buy separately, and we know
Yeah.
it, you can only buy it as part of the kit at the moment, can't you? Which makes the kit even more valuable at being 101. So half of that is the price of valerian, plus lavender's £31. And
I actually did my research first and thought, how much is this going to cost me wholesale when it becomes individual sale? And even though it seems like a large amount, I have to say the oils, they're both 15 ml. You've got the capsules, they're going to last for absolutely ages. And I felt like I would rather buy it today as a kit where I'm going to have this great saving than actually perhaps individual sale later where I think, oh, why didn't I get the kit? And I could have saved money because I we know all wanting to save money.
absolutely. And we know that with the Serenity stick, that the valerian goes well, doesn't it? So if we've got lavender and valerian, that'll be a beautiful combo together
Yeah.
in a.
And as I say, I was speaking to my friend Sherry, who's just amazing homeopath, and she was saying, oh my goodness, valerian is absolutely amazing. So I'm very excited it's come up for sale today.
Yeah, lovely. I will unspotlight you. Remove you from the spotlight. And then I'll talk about the Adaptiv Capsules and a little bit of science. Not the most attractive slides, I must say, but it's all science-based, I'm afraid. That was my priority today. It's not that one, is it? It is this one. Hope you can all see that. Start at the beginning. Okay, so Adaptiv Capsules, what are they? They're classed in the EU labelling as a food supplement with plant extracts. And just remember with doTERRA, the language has got to be a little bit fuzzy. We've got to read between the lines because we've got to be compliant. So Adaptiv Capsules quieten the senses and offer much needed respite. They've been clinically researched the botanicals and ingredients in here to synergize with the essential oils known for relaxation and calm. And it's recommended. We'll put the PDFs into the chat after, into the groups if you want to know more, but recommended to take one a day. Okay, so let's have a look at some ingredients in the Adaptiv Capsules. When we were getting wind of this coming overseas from America, it's taken so long because of the European regulations with regards to GABA, the ingredient. Very controversial, caused a lot of issues, but I couldn't believe it this morning. So I've only just found all this out. We're literally on the 1st of October today. We didn't know this was happening until yesterday. So it's all new. It's all new to me. And I didn't realize it contains GABA. I thought it was just a calming extract like. Can you all see the slide? No? Yeah? I just got a message to say you can't see the slide. No? Okay, you can all see them. Oh, my screen's sharing is paused. Let's see if I can pause.
We can only see the autumn exclusives kit, just the
Oh,
first
okay, right, okay,
Sorry.
right. So if I resume that, all right, let me just stop sharing and move. I'll just refresh. That's what I've done. Thanks for that. Whoever said that, Sarah. There we go. Yeah, okay. So the ingredients in this food supplement are lavender essential oil, saffron extract, ahi flower seed oil, GABA as well, and a little bit of research that's been done for oral administration of lavender, this, I think both lavender and the saffron has the strongest evidence towards helping support anxiety. And anyone who is in this field will know that the Hamilton scale is what measures anxiety in people. And let me just pop you all over here so I can read it properly. So controlled trials with this preparation showed real reductions on the Hamilton scores. Lavender performed comparably to lorazepam over 6 weeks. That's really comforting to know, isn't it? It's really key that we can support anxiety using just lavender alone. I mean, that's in this ingredient. So saffron extract has had very similar things, the benefits on mood and anxious distress in adults, with outcomes compared to standard antidepressants in some studies. Anxiety measures often improve alongside the mood with the saffron extract. And then we've got this ahi flower seed oil. This supports the omega pathway, and it's relevant to the biology and how our body deals with neuroinflammation in the brain and also stress. So there's always a reason why doTERRA put these ingredients in, and they all work symbiotically. And then finally, GABA. We're going to go bigger on GABA. But for those who have taken any sort of medication to support anxiety, you may know a lot about this. But GABA is the brain's primarily neurotransmitter that helps to put the brakes over our brain working too much, worrying too much, that kind of thing. So taking GABA orally has looked very promising in humans, and that's literally what it is. So lavender and saffron currently provide the most consistent evidence for anxiety-related outcomes, and GABA adds that calming signal, and there's more data to come with that, but the emerging evidence looks really positive to combine these together. So a little bit more about what you may have taken or what you know about with various medications that are available for those that are really struggling with mood disorders or anxiety. You've probably heard of diazepam and lorazepam. Now, just a difference, what's the difference between basically Adaptiv having GABA and these anti-anxiety medications? Well, these medicines here, they don't supply GABA. What they do is they bind to the receptor to amplify the body's own GABA. Okay. So they are more powerful. Similar with the sertraline there and venlafaxine, these do not act on GABA receptors. They're a little bit different. They increase the serotonin over weeks. And they're used the first thing for people that are really struggling with anxiety. There's gabapentin. I know a few people have used that. Despite the name, these are not GABA receptor. They do not convert to GABA. They bind quite powerfully and help to reduce the release. So so that just to show you the difference between GABA, prescription drugs do not contain GABA. What they do is modulate it. Okay, just in layman's term, or they work through the serotonin channel like the SSRIs do. And the difference between Adaptiv is it's actually giving us GABA. Okay, and it's a natural form. It's not a drug. We've already exist. Because I have to ask that question as well. So Adaptiv capsules, in summary, contain actual GABA as a nutrient alongside the botanicals that we've looked at. And current data for the oral administration of GABA show benefits for stress-related outcomes. Like I said, there's a lot more definitive research to be done, but it's very promising. And we know that the other drugs on the market can have sedative effect and similar things, but a lot of us want a natural alternative, and this is where Adaptiv comes in. We're not trying to sort of replace anything that you're on, and it's something that you would have to speak to your doctor about. but just knowing the facts helps you to make an informed choice. So in summary, Adaptiv Capsules supply GABA with the addition of saffron, this ahi flower, and lavender. And the most evidence contains it really, from what the research has been done, is the lavender and saffron together, combined with the GABA, in helping to really help to calm our brain, really, our neurotransmitters. So very different from anxiety medications. It's not replacing it or anything like that. It works in a very different way, but we know there's no side effects and there's no addictions, and it's only going to help us if we are struggling. So I'd say if you're not currently on any medication, then go for it. There's nothing to worry about. But if you are, then it might be something that you need to chat about with the doctor. But combined with what Debra talked about with the valerian and the lavender, what a beautiful way to start the autumn months, especially as times are getting harder to get into a routine with it. I think that's all. Yeah, just a little. Yeah, I think that's there. Yeah, so just to summarize, really, yeah, I've got some other extracts as well, so just mention those. So unlike medication, this GABA is gentle. It doesn't act on the brain receptors in the same direct way. It works in synergy with the other botanicals that have been traditionally used for relaxation, mood support, and cognitive clarity. Okay, so we know the anti-anxiety medications on the market work directly on the brain's receptors, amplifying it with quite a strong immediate effect, but there are side effects such as drowsiness. We can become dependent on it, and it can have other side effects. So the key ingredients that we want to be looking at is how GABA can really benefit us. Lavender, we've got coriander seed oil, which supports our immune function, and cholesterol. Then we've talked about the saffron extract, which was traditionally used to support our sleep, decrease restlessness, and also relieve menopausal symptoms. And we've also got in there, aside from what we've talked about with fennel, wild orange, and safflower oil, supportive for digestion, antioxidant activity, and general well-being. So in summary, because there's been a lot of science here, the medications that are on the market, they're strong, fast acting, and they're prescribed, aren't they, by the doctor? But they do have side effects, and we could become dependent. And again, this is something to talk to your doctor about. Whereas Adaptiv Capsules are a gentle food supplement, and they work in synergy with each other, and things that have been traditionally used to support our mood as well. So I hope that makes sense. And I'll see if Charlene is available. Shout out if you are. She can.
Yeah.
Yes, hey. I'll just try and find you 1 sec, and I will spotlight you. You're going to talk about the lovely lavender.
Lavender, yeah.
Find you. I've lost you. You must be on the next page. Oh, there you are. It's because you're in the sunshine.
I am. I'm trying to be.
Okay. Okay, so over to you, Charlene. Thank you.
Thank you, and good evening to everyone. So I am not going to share my slides because something has happened to them and they're all jumbled up, but I'm going to try to just talk through what I was going to talk with you, what I was going to talk through today. So, oh, and I've lost my lavender. Where's it gone? The gorgeous lavender. Right. If anyone has their lavender, if you can just keep it next to you, might just do a little something with it in a little while. Right. So, lavender essential oil, small bottle, big science. What I really like about lavender is it's one of the most studied essential oils. And the reason it's one of the reasons why it's one of the most studied essential oils is because of the effects that it has. It's one of the essential oils that has an effect on our mood, on our emotional balance, menopausal support, but also concentration and focus, as well as sleep. So generally, particularly now thinking about the health space, I work in healthcare, so I'll talk a little bit about that. Working in that space, these are some of the key areas you want to make sure that patients are supported in. So lavender is really a good oil because it is a very low toxicity profile. So that means it really doesn't interact with many things. So even if you're taking other prescription drugs, generally you're safe to take lavender, but still always just double check with your treating physicians, depending on the medications that you're on. That's my act of good service for the evening. Right. We'll talk a little bit about sleep then. So how does it impact sleep and how is it useful? And I'm sure some of you have already got lavender, you've experienced the benefits. I remember when I first started using essential oils, I was really skeptical about it. And at this point, I was struggling with sleep. And I remember either Rachel or Lisa going, just rub it on the bottoms of your feet, or put a drop in your glass and drink it before you go to bed. And I remember rubbing it to the bottoms of my feet and I slept flat out. And I still thought, nah, that's coincidence. And I did it for 3 nights in a row. And then I was convinced. I was like, it absolutely works. So what makes it so effective? So lavender contains 2 compounds. So these are organic compounds. So one of them is linalool, spelled Linalool. This would have been great if I was showing us at the deck. And so this is the organic component. And then it's got linalool acetate. So this is an ester of linalool as well. And these are shown actually to have relaxing effects. So they aid in terms of lowering heart rate, lowering blood pressure, reducing stress and anxiety. So that's one of the reasons why it's good at that. But they also help in the sense of reducing inflammation. And one of the things that's on the rise from a health perspective is inflammation. Lavender is one of the good oils for that. And in quite a lot of clinical trials that they've done, patients have reported improved sleep quality as well as reduced insomnia. And I think even just in general, people, and I know some who've started using lavender who struggled with sleep have noted an improved sleep. So what are some of the ways you can use it then to support with sleep? So you can put a few drops on your pillow or diffuse them. I absolutely love diffusing lavender before bed. So about 30 minutes to an hour before bed, just diffuse it. It just helps your mind to relax as well as you unwind. Again, if you've got your roller bottle, you've diluted it with a little bit of coconut oil, then you can just apply it to like your wrists, your neck. But in terms of applying it neat, you can, but sometimes you can then it also promotes sensitization. So just be mindful if you've got skin conditions, it might be easier to use it diluted. So that's sleep. Next, I'm just going to quickly look at focus and mental clarity. So we did just say it's got this relaxation, a sedative effect so much. So it supports sleep, but it also helps with focus and mental clarity. So it doesn't knock you out, but it turns down the background noise. And if you're anyone who maybe has loads of thoughts or is busy, maybe kids, maybe a stressful job, and sometimes your brain just doesn't shut off for you to actually be more productive, lavender can come to the rescue. It can really, really be helpful. Why? Because it's been shown to actually reduce cortisol-driven distraction. So cortisol is one of our stress hormones. So generally, once we're stressed, we release more cortisol into the bloodstream. So lavender actually helps in terms of that. It reduces that. And it actually helps in terms of also just regaining that focus. And again, this has been proven through clinical studies, which is really, really good. So perhaps even just during your workday, when you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit, like it's just too noisy in your head and you just can't quiet down. Again, if you've got a diffuser, if you're working in an office or if you're working from home, then use that. But also you can just inhale it. Yeah. So inhale it slowly, like inhale for 4, hold for 2, and exhale for 6. And just repeat that a few times. That just re-regulates your vagus nerve, which then resets your nervous system. So it's absolutely fantastic oil. Love that aspect of it. Now I'm going to come to something I'm really passionate about, which is skin and menopause, because I think we're all girls here, so skin is a big thing. We want to make sure our skin looks amazing. I fret at the slightest breakout on my face, especially. but actually lavender is very good for just that cooling response and just helping with settling your skin. But we touched on the fact that it's anti-inflammatory, so that actually comes and helps. But it's also antimicrobial. So then that's why when you've got any breakouts, any redness, but also for wound healing, it's really, really good because of those two potent effects. The fact that it's antimicrobial and it's anti-inflammatory. And then now just moving to menopause or perimenopause as well, the period before menopause. And some people are in perimenopause for about a decade before they actually enter menopause. This is where lavender again comes in really, really handy. Outside of helping with sleep, it can also help with hot flushes in some people, especially when it's combined with like either peppermint or clary sage. So depending on which other one you've got, using them in conjunction actually really, really helps with settling hot flashes. And then it also balances our emotions. So that emotional regulation, especially during hormonal spikes. So another little oil, but great, great oil to have in your arsenal. Right, so I did talk a little bit about if you've got, does anyone have lavender? Sorry, I couldn't see anyone because I had to look at the screen. Does anyone have a bottle of lavender with them? Can't see everyone, so super. If you've got it, so we're just going to do a little, and I'm hoping you can see me. Yeah, if you don't have it, just imagine that you've got a bottle of lavender. So we all know what lavender smells like. So maybe just close your eyes and try and imagine what lavender smells like. But if you've got it, if you open it, and once you've opened your bottle, just inhale. And as you inhale, count for 4, right? So if you're ready, just inhale and count for 4. And then hold for 2 and exhale for 6. Right? So just to go through it again, you inhale for 4. Literally make sure as you inhale, you take a deep breath right into the bottom of your belly. Hold for 2 and exhale for 6. Yeah, that literally is just how you reset your vagus nerves. That's the vagal brake, which resets your nervous system. So if ever you're feeling a little bit anxious, a little bit overwhelmed, that's a nice little trick to have up your sleeve and you can use it. I think I'm going to stop there because I think I've yet to laugh, but hope that's been helpful. Over to you, Rachel.
Thank you very much. That was wonderful. That's really give us a really wonderful way to use lavender. We all know lavender well, but that's thank you for all the science, and it's lovely to have a professional expert on. We're so privileged to have you. We know how busy you are, so it's lovely when you can come on. We do appreciate it. Yeah. So, and also, I don't know if Deborah, I think you touched on the fact that valerian is a food grade oil, and as
Yeah.
is lavender. Hmm?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't realize it was rhetorical questions. Sorry. Yes,
No,
it is.
yeah, yes, it is, isn't it? I was just looking at the pipette, so you can make valerian tea, and you can do the lavender tea, can't you? So we can
And
use that.
it can be used at night, particularly in a warm drink. And then
Yeah.
you could have the rollerball with the lavender as well. I think the two will be the most beautiful oils combined.
Yeah. So let's say you've taken your Adaptiv capsule in the morning because you've got a stressful day ahead. You're using lavender throughout the day because it's just great. And then at night time, you maybe get valerian in the diffuser with lavender, or you've got a roller ready to put on your feet and you're breathing that in. Maybe a drop of valerian in your tea, or add it to your herbal tea just to calm you down. Or you can take it in a veggie capsule as well. Yeah, wonderful combination. We know valerian's already in the stick as well, isn't it? The sleep stick. So yeah, if you fancy those 3, then get it. I don't know how many there's in stock, but we're hoping because this could really help a lot of people, the Adaptiv capsules, supporting the mental health. That obviously because it's part of a pack, I asked the question about when it's going to come out as a single item, and they're looking at December time before the end of the year. So I don't want to start you on something that you really like and then not be able to get it. So I'm just warning you. Make it last for 2 months. But hopefully, usually with these kind of kits, they have quite a lot of stock over that jump over the 2 months. I know the last years it was, but sometimes Europeans get very excited and buy it all. So just warning you. Yeah, so we've got 10% off as well, finally, the On Guard chewables with extra vitamin C and zinc. I think I've got I've got a little graphic about that because it's something that we don't often mention, but they're a great little pack to get hold of to support the whole family. And because it's got lemon and it's quite a refreshing kind of, not, I wouldn't say snack, that's going too far. But it's quite it's quite a nice flavour, but it's not too spicy. So has anyone tried the On Guard Chewable Plus chewable tablets? Yep, yeah. It's a great way to support your immune system. Like I said, because of the benefit of vitamin C, vitamin D and zinc. I mean, we all need that in winter, don't we? And this beta glucan, which is a natural prebiotic fiber. It helps to create a healthy gut microbiome and it acts as an immune modulator to help your immune system work as efficiently as possible. I didn't know that was in there. So you can take them anytime, chew about 3 tablets a day as you need. Let's say you're feeling a bit run down, you might want to use that. Here we go. It's got the On Guard blend, cinnamon, bark, leaf, eucalyptus leaf, rosemary leaf. I'm sure there's lemon in there because I did taste lemon. If I'm making it up, I'm sure there's lemon flavour. Anyway, I'll have to look into that. It tastes very nice and refreshing anyway. So yeah, they're 10% off this month, and it's a good time as we're coming up to the season, just to pop it in your handbag, take them wherever. I just have them at home and just try and shove them down the kids' necks as they're going out to school, etc. So very handy one to have to top you up during the season. So yeah, I will end it there. We'll stop the recording for those who are watching it on catch up and then open it up to any questions that you might have about anything we've discussed.